Have you ever felt overshadowed by a sibling? You know, like no matter what you do, they always seem to steal the limelight. Well, let me tell you about my experience with my golden child sister, and how she actually kicked me out of our house. Hey, everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am. And today, I'm diving into a story that's been weighing on my mind for a while. So picture this: I'm the older sibling, and my sister, who's 3 years younger than me, is the golden child of the family. I mean, seriously. She can do no wrong in my parents' eyes. From her perfect grades to her flawless social life, it felt like I was always in her shadow growing up. It was like everything I did was compared to her achievements. And trust me, that's a tough pill to swallow. But things took a wild turn, and I want to share with you the day she actually kicked me out. Rising action, all right. So let me set the scene for you. It all started a few months ago. I was feeling really overwhelmed with everything: school, work, and just life in general. Meanwhile, my sister was thriving. She was getting awards, going to parties, and let's not forget her Instagram was blowing up. I remember one evening, my parents were gushing over her latest achievement while I sat there feeling invisible. It hurt, honestly. Then things escalated. I remember a specific incident where I have been working really hard on a project for weeks, pouring my heart into it. I thought finally I'll get some recognition. But when I presented it at the dinner table, my sister casually mentioned how she'd already done something similar in school, and just like that, the spotlight shifted back to her. That was the moment I really snapped. I confronted my parents about their favoritism, but they brushed it off, saying I was just being dramatic. This only fueled my frustration. Fast forward a few days later, and I was in a pretty heated argument with my sister. I told her how tired I was of her always being the favorite, and how it felt like I was constantly competing for attention. But instead of understanding where I was coming from, she laughed it off and said maybe if you tried harder, you wouldn't feel that way. That stung, and we ended up having a huge blowout. Tension was thick in the air, and I could feel the animosity building. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a Saturday, and I was feeling particularly down about everything. I decided to stay in my room, hoping to avoid any more family chaos. But my sister burst in, wanting to borrow my favorite jacket for a party. I snapped and told her no. That's when she lost it. She screamed at me, calling me selfish and saying that I was just jealous of her success. I couldn't take it anymore. I shouted back, telling her that she was spoiled, and that my parents would never see her flaws. In the heat of the moment, she yelled, "If you're so unhappy here, why don't you just leave?" And just like that, I stormed out of my room, packed a bag, and told her I was done. I left the house and felt a mix of anger and relief. My heart was racing, and I didn't really know where I was going, but I just needed to get away from her and the suffocating atmosphere of our home. Following action after that day, things got pretty complicated. I ended up staying with a friend for a few days, trying to sort through my emotions. I felt hurt, abandoned, and honestly a little lost. I kept replaying the argument in my head, wondering if I overreacted or if I really needed to stand up for myself. It was tough not having my family support me during this time. I did try to reach out to my sister and even my parents, but it felt like they were all still on her side. A week later, I finally had the courage to go back home and talk things through. My sister was there, and the tension was palpable. I tried to explain how I felt, hoping we could find some common ground, but she was cold, insisting I had no right to feel the way I did. I felt like I was talking to a wall. It was incredibly frustrating, and I ended up leaving the conversation, feeling even more hurt than before. Eventually, things started to settle down. My sister and I didn't talk for a while, but I realized that I needed to focus on myself. I started exploring new hobbies, spending more time with friends, and working on my self-esteem. I learned that it's okay to feel overshadowed sometimes, but I also realized my worth is untied to my sister's achievements. We've had a few conversations since then, and while things aren't perfect, I think we're starting to understand each other a bit better. I've learned to stand my ground and communicate my feelings, which is something I wish I had done sooner. It's not just about her being the golden child, it's about me being the best version of myself too, and I'm okay with that now. Call to action, CTA. So that's my story about how my golden child sister kicked me out. I love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever felt overshadowed by a sibling? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more personal experiences. I've got plenty of stories to share, and I can't wait to connect with you all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.